Hey there, happy Thursday, it's me Victor. Hopefully you're having a great trading week. Just to go over particularly one play that I saw today that everyone's been talking about, PSTV, just give my opinions of the matter and some other recent plays that I talked about in the video which I dropped earlier this week. First and foremost, again, all of these are just for educational purposes only, don't take anything as advice. Okay, all of these are just for learning in a sense. But overall, PSTV. I am long overnight over the weekend. This really, again, I don't like trading these small cap runners, but as I mentioned, I like them setting up in the afternoon. I am long roughly. I'm long from 166. I got long at 86 really over the high day break. Let's go on the intraday chart here. Pretty much as it broke out of this range, right here, I got long. And I will go over the reason why, and I'm swinging I got pretty much a good size, roughly about 20,000 shares. I'm swinging the other 20K overnight. I kind of bought more from a 166 average, but the reason for me buying this, now let's just go over the basics, okay? As I mentioned, I talked about GV. This is the exact carbon copy of it. Look at it's the exact same setup, okay? I like trading these. This is a different type of setup, okay? So it's not, I trade episodic pivots, open range highs, things like that. But this is pretty much the same type, but a variation in the afternoon, in a sense. As you have GV, of course, today it had a gap up. As I talked about, it was likely going to gap up. It had a nice retrace, of course. It's still on radar. Very likely it's going to fade tomorrow, have a red day. But if not, over 550. Tomorrow's a Friday, and that's pretty much the reason why I got long on PSTV. But it's pretty much the exact same setup. You have a stock that gaps up and holds, and in the afternoon you have that break. And it's really, again, I don't want to make it sound that easy. It's not that easy. It takes time. It takes really patience is the most important thing of this. Because most people, there's a common saying, smart money trades later, dumb money trades out of the open. You really want to be reactive with these small cap runners because most of them do end up fading in the end. But I like letting the play develop because most of the time they are going to offer numerous moves. They move very quickly rather than large cap and mid cap stocks. These are really thin floats. They move really, they're highly volatile, which of course is why people are attracted to them. And again, you can make a lot of money doing this over and over again if you have the right setups and right methodology, in a sense. But I like waiting for something like this, a stock that sets up and waits for the afternoon. I always love I've seen this numerous times over the past 7 years I've been doing this. Again, I want you to, whenever you are trading a stock, whenever you are thinking to buy it, okay? Again, it's not going to be every stock, but you always want to put it into overall context. The why, the what, the how. Don't just buy something randomly, okay? Again, as I always say, look left to see the right. This has ran in the past. The long-term chart's not going to reflect it because it has had a recent reverse split. It has had a recent reverse split, as you can see right there, 1 for 15 in 2023. But this has gone super. This has been a runner in the past. I remember it numerous times. They're very well known for doing offerings, so I wouldn't be surprised for them to do an offering. But again, think in terms of logic. For this company, again, I say company in quotation marks, the news was somewhat positive. I really don't care. It's an FDA orphan drug designation, which is okay. I don't really care. But it's news, it's story, it's legs. And of course, a long-term chart, look at it, it's beaten down. So it's an unexpected news to this play. And again, I always emphasize, look at the volume. The volume is roughly 400 million, okay? And you have legs, and most importantly, the stock chart is beaten down. So I want you to think in terms of risk to reward, okay? And also price, right? I don't understand really the short, think of it best case scenario, okay? If you're shorting this stock, I don't know why you want to short a stock that's 80 cents a share, or that's 80 cents, or even back down here when it was 60 cents. What's your reward, you know? Look at where the stock's at. It's pretty much near its lows. And the risk if you're shorting is what you see here, okay? This did not go to a freaking 40 cents to the high of 260 because of their news. It did not. No. Again, the float is extremely thin. And how do I know that? You just simply, as I mentioned, always use FinViz. As you can see here, shares float roughly 5.9 million outstanding, freely traded in the open markets 5.75. Again, those aren't really like the exact. It's just an estimate in a sense. But that's how much. It's like supply and demand. So let's just say there's roughly 6 million, for give or take, float. That means today that this stock has traded roughly more. I mean, today's volume was what, 400 million. So it pretty much traded. I mean, I'm not good at math here. You don't really have to be good at math to do this at anything. But that means roughly, let's just say 360 million, which is a lot. And let's just say the float is 6 million, for give or take. That means it traded its float roughly 60 times today. That's supply and demand. And with this, I always think in terms of, number one, you have layers. It's all about, again, stocks move in stairs. That's my mindset. Stocks move in stairs. You have layers of shorts that are stuck in this. That is my mindset. And that's why I went long. Whenever I saw this basing, I saw this run, but of course it faded. And I saw this perk up, and I missed it. And I don't really like trading midday. I like waiting towards power hour. It's just right there, not a coincidence. It's just, better odds of success. I'm not saying that this midday spike couldn't go to 260. No, you have greater odds if this were to break out in the afternoon, which it did right here. And this is what we want to see, higher lows. And again, in hindsight, it's pretty much, hindsight makes trading look easy. But in the moment, you never really know how high this can go. Like, no one really know. I didn't expect this to go to 260. No, I just saw the setup. I saw this developing. And that's when I went long. I think, when was it? I got long around 1 o'clock. Right here, I got long in this dip. And I kind of expected this to break out the high of day of 90 cents. Because it's just so strong. I mean, if you go back here, like, it's just so strong. I mean, this could have easily failed, you know? But it was just so strong. I mean, the trend was holding its ranges, and it was just so strong. And that's why I went long, and I sold half of it into this ramp, but I bought some more for ideally the gap up. And I'm just long because I think this can do something crazy. Now, what is crazy? Everyone has their own definition of crazy, but it's just, you have to understand that tomorrow is a very special day in the markets. Tomorrow is a Friday, and if you're just getting started, Fridays are notorious for short squeezes. They're notorious for a lot of volatility in the markets. And this chart is prime. The ADR is roughly 31%, the ADR. Extremely high. The higher the ADR, the higher the more volatile they are, in a sense. And as well, this can easily gap down. They can easily raise money. But again, put things into overall context. If you're a company, you want the stock price to go as high as possible in order to raise the most money. So it is in their best interest to raise money. Again, these biotechs most often have to raise money. The only reason to become a stock is to raise money. That's why they trade. That's why they trade freely in an open market. But that's just my mindset. Like, whenever I see a beaten down stock like this that's gapping up on high volume and with a low float, and that's breaking out in the afternoon, it's just a no-brainer. And I've seen this play over and over and over again, and I just want you to focus there, and whoever you are, if you're just getting started, that this pattern is going to happen over and over again. I pretty much call this a late day afternoon breakout on a listed stock. And again, another key point here, this stock is so strong considering the market conditions we're in right now. As I mentioned, it's not really best to go long whenever the markets are like this, whenever we're in a downtrend. Okay, it's best to be on defense. I'm not saying there's no plays. There is. There always, trading's a business. There always are going to be plays in the markets, but it's just easier to make money within the markets when you have the moving averages surfing like this. But who knows how far we're going to go. Again, I want to point to you out there. No one knows what's going to happen in the markets. Again, they can say one thing, but no one really knows anything. No one knows what the hell they're talking about. Just be reactive. But that's why PSTVs are so strong. The fact that it's pretty much running in the market conditions we're in right now. And again, the long-term chart, look at it. I mean, look at it. It's just a surprise. And yeah, I mean, if this gaps down, I don't really care. I mean, my average is 163 with the ads. My first average was at 86 cents. But I added quite a bit because I always like adding when I'm in the money. You always want to add to your winners, you know? That's when the big money's made. But yeah, that's that one with that one. And someone commented on Acon. I did pretty much say this was a potential liquidity trap. And I just want to point out too that to anyone out there, like, setups are not going to work sometimes. That's just that's the art of trading. And I think they had some news, I believe, that led this to gap down. Yeah, something that, yeah, expansion. Okay. But yeah, sometimes a play's not going to work out. That's trading. It's not called being right or wrong. It's called trading. It's about playing the odds. And I see the exact same setup that's pretty much a liquidity trap happening on TRNR right here. This is pretty much the exact same play I was trying to go with GTAI, and it kind of faded. Same with Acon, but of course it faded today. But TRNR is just when I'm watching, has price alerts. I like how it's holding the ranges in a sense. Over 260 ideally. Again, you really want to let this go sideways. I just like how it's beaten down. I trade purely the technicals. I don't really care. This company has no fundamentals to say. It's a shit stock. But I'm looking for a potential short trap, you know, over 260. And tomorrow's a Friday, so you're going to have those shorts who are going to want to cover. Most shorts don't want to hold over the weekend. So I'm just going to take advantage of that market fluctuation if that does happen over 260. Sorry if you hear a train in the background. I live by train tracks. But GV as well, ideally red day. And I'm watching more 550, but ideally red day. Other than that, that's really all I want to talk about. There's other ones, but I'll save them for the Sunday scan, in a sense. But PSTV, if this gaps up, ideally it's gonna, again, I don't like trying to predict things. If this gaps up, just let it do its thing. The float is extremely thin, and who knows what's gonna happen with this one. I've seen a lot of crazy things. If it gaps down, then I'll probably sell. If they raise, they could honestly raise money, and I wouldn't be surprised. But again, it's in their best interest to get this higher. But the key takeaway of this is just to understand that there's going to be numerous setups within every stock, within every time frame in the day. And if we're just getting started, I would really want you to focus on the biggest stocks in the afternoon. You know, get a big percent gainer scan, focus on the hottest stocks, and just track them in the day. Track them how they move, and the ones that are holding near their highs, watch them and watch how they react. You don't even have to trade them. Just watch them over and over again. Then you start small, then you grow your account that way. But this is just one variation of the setup. Okay, beautiful. Congrats to anyone who is long. And again, the old me, I always advise you locking in some profits, because this is quite a move from freaking the breakout of 80 cents to high of 260. But I've been learning that you really want to hold your winners. I'm not saying you always want to lock some in. But the big money is made whenever you, in a sense, like, you know, whenever you make money immediately in a stock, you pretty much know that that's going to be a nice winner, if that makes any sense. But yeah, afternoon breakout, PSTV. I'm long. We'll see how this plays over the weekend, overnight. But yeah, I would do a video this Friday going over all the plays and what's happening in the future. But please be safe tomorrow. Again, focus on your setups. Don't try to do everything at once. Just take it trade by trade. And again, sometimes the best trade is no trade. And you'd be surprised if you just sit on your ass and just watch some stocks and try not to trade. Only trade whenever you see something that fits your criteria. You'll be surprised how well you do. Okay, your goal is to out-compete your enemy. Your goal is longevity. Your goal is survival. Don't try to do it all at once. Don't try to stay busy trading. No, just focus. Okay, I wasn't even looking to trade today. I saw my scans. I saw some stocks and they didn't do nothing. I checked my midday scans and I saw this, and I saw it basing near the highs, and I took my shot. Okay, sometimes the best trades happen when you don't even expect that trade. Okay, and you'll get that whenever you realize that you don't have to trade every day. And whenever you hit that point, you become a very powerful person. Okay, You'll get it one day if you understand what I'm saying. I don't look for the trade. I don't really need to trade. Just whenever something happens, I take it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Okay. But other than that, I love y'all, and I'll see you